So here's a question, for instance. A lot of women have miscarriages, like without even knowing in the first few weeks of getting pregnant. Do you think that those embryos should be rushed to the hospital?
Well, if the embryo is dead, no. I mean,
okay, do you think that like any woman, do you think we should start locking every single woman that has sex into some sort of facility to check for early miscarriages like that? Because if it is true, wouldn't that be the equivalent of a woman leaving a child starving to death on their floor?
No, absolutely not.
No.
How dare you?
Hold on, can you answer the question before
No.
How dare you?
Because what you're talking about right now is essentially the real genocide of children is all the children being miscarried right now in the first few weeks of development.
That's miscarriage to not feeding my child.
Why? It should be the same thing.
No, it's not.
Why is it not?
Well, you obviously
it's not because.
Oh my gosh!
It's not because.
Well, hold on, you're telling
every
me.
woman
hold
in
on,
America
if you want to
who has
extend
just
human
had
protections
has had a
all the
miscarriage
way
is
to
very
the
angry.
very
Hold on,
beginning,
one
the
at a
very
time,
moment
one
of
at a time,
conception,
please.
if you want to go all the way to the moment of conception, then that means that a woman who just whatever kind of miscarries in the first, second, or third week and doesn't realize it, that is the same as like, oops, somebody dropped their child down the stairs and they died.
No,
that is
not
absolutely not the same. Do you understand science and what happens in a miscarriage? An unattended miscarriage?
Unattended. That's why I'm saying we should lock them up after they have sex.
I don't think your argument doesn't make any sense.
My argument makes perfect sense.
No,
if you truly
lock
believe,
a woman up,
it's actually very
restate my
heinous.
argument.
Might be more
I'll
likely
restate
to
my
miscarry
argument. I
because of
understand
the
it's really.
stress.
I know it
Which
hurts
is why I
because
don't
it
think we
obviously
should jail
demonstrates
pregnant
another
women,
huge
quite
flaw.
frankly.
If you
Can I
believe that the
finish?
moment of
Can
no,
I-
you can't right now. If you believe that at the moment of conception you've created a unique human being, then that means that right now you should be in tears because at every moment women that are engaged. In fact, you could probably make the argument that sex without the intention of immediately going to a hospital is probably immoral because you're engaging in some activity that might result in the death of a child in 2 or 3 or 4 weeks because you don't know if you're going to have a miscarriage. Every single time a woman has sex, she should probably be rushed to the hospital immediately after just to make sure that whatever fetus might be there is absolutely protected.
I don't think.
Let me answer your question.
That is misogyny because what you're saying is women cannot gestate human beings in the womb and be productive citizens of our society.
They shouldn't.
That is misogyny.
So Destiny,
sir.
I don't
That's
know
exactly
that.
what.
Hold on, let's let Lila
Okay,
go.
I don't
Go
know.
ahead,
I
Lila.
think your question might betray perhaps a little ignorance about how pregnancy works.
Okay, inform me,
because
please.
Because if a woman gets pregnant, rushing her to the hospital is not going to magically prevent a miscarriage that she may or may not have. Miscarriages happen for a lot of different reasons. And I would argue, especially for imprisonment as an example, imprisoning a woman who's pregnant, which I'm opposed to, by the way, that additional stress could add to the miscarriage. So if you grabbed a woman after she had sex and might be pregnant and dragged her off to a hospital, that might actually induce stress in her. And
yeah, but there's
create a
also
miscarriage.
potentially
So
things, there's behaviors a woman could engage in that would increase the risk of miscarriage, especially if she doesn't know she's pregnant, right? Maybe a woman drinks.
Say that one more time.
There
Destiny?
might be behaviors that a woman could engage in if she
Which
is
is
pregnant
why-
that would increase the
which
risk
is
of
why-
pregnant.
which is
However,
why
that means that
Destiny-
you could have sex with a
Destiny.
condom and with birth control, and you might actually get pregnant. So if
That's
a woman
right,
is
you
having
can.
sex and she starts drinking or whatever, she could be
right.
murdering a child right then and there.
Destiny, let me answer that.
Yeah.
That's why we have recommendations, from the FDA that women who are pregnant should not drink alcohol.
No. You don't even know if you're pregnant
But
yet, though.
that's
That's the whole
wait a minute,
deal.
excuse me.
That's different.
That's the difference between direct and indirect actions, though, right?
It doesn't get much more direct than doing
No,
things to
if
your
a
body
woman
that
is
harms your
pregnant
child.
and does not know she's pregnant, say she just conceived and she goes and celebrates her 20th birthday at a bar, 21st birthday at a bar, and she drinks a whole bunch and she miscarries, no one would say
You murdered your child.
You murdered your child.
Of course
no one
you
would
did.
say that. That's not that was not the intent.
It doesn't matter what the
There's
intent
a
is. You think
whole
the kid cares what the
difference
intent
between
is?
the
You've murdered a
intent.
child.
Abortion. What is abortion? Abortion is the direct, intentional killing of an
Do
innocent
you think
human
from the perspective of the fetus, do you think it cares if
That
it was
is
an accident or
a
intentional,
direct
that it was...
action. We're arguing about the morality of abortion, which you've informed me like 5 times because you don't want to talk about science.
Sure, but what I'm saying is that if you think that from
Abortion
the moment
is
of
a direct-
conception...
I will say, I'll give you this,
intentional
Destiny. If you're having sex, and this is actually goes to a related conversation to the abortion conversation, but that's very important. I think
topic is you
anyways,
guys didn't answer any of my other questions.
sexual
I have a
ethics.
question, actually.
And I think your
after
question
Lila
kind of gets
goes
into
here.
the sexual ethics world, which I think is important. So we could go there.
Sure.
If you're having
Am I allowed
heterosexual
to,
sex,
am I allowed to ask any of my questions because none of them got answered?
Well, I would
Do you want to
argue.
reiterate them?
Sure, I had like 3 really basic
Can
ones.
I answer his little hypothetical though,
Yeah,
really
answer.
quick? Okay.
Sure.
About the mass genocide of
Well,
accidental
no, it
babies.
was more about, if you're having sex,
like
should you be
carrying
heavily
semen.
drinking afterwards? I think was where you're going with that. And I would say No, you shouldn't actually. I don't think, and this is part of our society's problem today, post-sexual revolution, is we have separated sex from procreation and from relationship.
Okay.
And because of that, we have the abortion rate of 2,500 children killed every day by abortion. Because of that, we have mass unhappiness. We have breakdown among male-female relationships. People actually are having less sex in many ways than before. Pornography use is spiking. And it's all because we've forgotten what sex is designed for, which is intimacy and new life.
Okay.
So I would be against a culture, and I am against acts where people are just being promiscuous, having sex, not
literally
really caring.
none of that has anything to do with what I said, because everything that I described happened could literally happen within a marriage where a woman gets pregnant, doesn't realize it, has some alcohol.
Then I'll answer that too.
Hold on,
Actually, let me answer that too, because I'm married.
I'm just saying that nothing what I gave had anything to do with the sex culture.
Then thank you for the clarification.